Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and for this review we're going to take a look at the Mafex DareDevil figure. This is the reissue that they had put up for pre-order not too long ago. I was supposed to review this guy earlier because I thought I was going to get him in earlier, but you know, post office, things got delayed, so he's here now. But this is the front of the box. I really like how they continue on with that comic book motif up there. The side of the box, you see a picture of Daredevil and, you know, a picture of his comic book look. I do kind of wish they had that, like, really dark cell shading. That'd be a cool variant for this Daredevil. But on the back, you see different poses you can get the figure in, as well as some of his accessories. And then on the other side, you just see Daredevil and then a picture of the figure again. So let's get this guy out and take a closer look. Alright, so here's Daredevil out of his packaging, and he looks amazing. I mean, I didn't think that this guy would have this much, like, shaded detail on him. The nice highlights and shadows on his suit look really good. I'm glad they did this. I feel like, you know, if Tamashii Nations did something like this, they'd probably just leave him in like a stark red plastic. But you could tell the difference between the DD logo and his gloves being a different, you know, color and finish. They're glossy. Has like the seams for the gloves as well there. The belt having that small little black piece in the middle. The strap on his thigh being that different red color, and then you can see the actual part where it straps to his leg there, being that lighter red. And then coming down to the boots, you can see that seam again, lighter red color. Mine has this little black paint splotch. Maybe I can just like get that off somehow without taking off any of the other paint. But even his boots down here have like a little bit of shading on mine. It's like at the toe part has a little bit of shading, which is pretty cool. But yeah, he looks great. I mean, taking a look at the face, very nicely painted and sculpted. The only thing I would say is maybe make his eyes a little brighter. It seems like that overspray got on the stark red of the eyes, so it kind of makes them blend in. But I think that looks really good. Again, I would really like a head sculpt where it was that kind of like the comic, where you see that it's that like heavily dark ink. That'd be pretty cool. But to get into his articulation, Daredevil will look up this much, which is very, very good. He's a very acrobatic character, so he needs to be able to look up. He can look down about that much, and that's including the neck movement. So, of course, you could turn it all the way around if you want to. He does have head tilt, really far head tilt, which is really, really nice. And all the joints feel really good. They're very stiff. For arms, they can go up about this much. And they do come in for butterfly joint. He can cross his arms completely over his chest, and then looking at it from the back looks really good. No complaints there. There's no shading on these joints, but I still think it looks good. And then for rotation, he does have a bicep swivel. There is some rotation up here at the top of the arm. And you do have double jointed elbows, which give you that full past 90, and then they do look pretty good. And the elbow here is sculpted. And then you actually, you could get this to go back. So if you wanted to, and this is pretty standard for anyone who's ever had anything, but if you wanted to do like some kind of, you know, acrobatic pose or have him trying to hold two things together, his arms do go back pretty far, which is pretty cool. And then for the abdomen, with both, he's crunching back real far. This is almost like Regal Tech levels of articulation. Of course, you're going to get that gap right here down at the belt and then up here by the abs. But you can kind of move it around to kind of hide that. And then going forward, very good as well. Goes really far forward again. You're going to get that gap on the back here and then a little bit here. And then for the legs, he can kick up about this much. I believe he still has that standard drop down hinge, so then you can get it a little bit further up. This is a semi-soft piece. It's not soft enough to where you can kind of push this leg past it. But he does have a thigh swivel, and this is sculpted, so you can see the sculpt here continuing on from the diaper piece. Double jointed knees, which look really good. He doesn't have any kind of boot swivel, but he does have a toe joint and the ankle articulation. His foot can go down about that far, go up about that far. You can pivot it around for a really nice ankle rocker. and then that toe joint goes up. It looks pretty good. So yeah, you could do a lot of stuff with this guy. Like, you can get him in whatever poses you need to. Like, he's definitely hitting, you know, any Spider-Man or acrobatic type pose. You can even get him into poses that they chose to showcase on the box, where like one arm is, I believe he's like swinging over his body, and then he's got his, you know, rope. His legs don't come together that far. I mean, they come together enough, but you can kind of mimic that pose there on the box, which is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. If you like to like mimic action figure, we use action figures to mimic comic book artwork. That's pretty cool. One thing to also note is that these batons are on a ball peg, so they can kind of move around. Be careful, because you could snap this off, like when you're replacing it or moving him around, so just be mindful of that. But yeah, other than that, I mean, this guy's articulation is awesome. I wasn't planning on getting him, but then he was reissued, and I had some extra cash, and everybody was talking about how great this Daredevil figure is, and I didn't have one in my collection, so decided to pick him up, and I'm glad I did. So let's take a closer look at some stuff that he comes with. So Daredevil comes with quite a bit, starting with 2 different head sculpts. So he has the one head sculpt where he's yelling, screaming. And this one you can see the eyes are that red color. The mouth and the teeth are painted really nicely. I think they should have used like a little bit lighter red just to, you know, get that difference in color, but I understand he's pretty much all the same color, basically. But I think this looks really good. And then he has another face sculpt, which is teeth gritted. And this looks really good too. I've seen a lot of custom head sculpts for this guy too, so I guess you could feel free to pick one of those up if you don't like either of these options. Then he comes with 2 different batons out of the sheath on his belt. So this one right here that has the strap, and then this one right here that doesn't, and they're just white pieces of plastic. And then he has different interchangeable holster options. So like when you don't have the batons in there, you can have the empty holster. And when you do want to take one out, but one is kept in, then they give you that option as well. I don't believe, yeah, this doesn't come off. So if you try to pull that off, you're probably going to snap it in half. But that's a cool, you know, option for interchangeability. I like that. Now, they don't give you one for if the one with the strap is not in there. So that's something to note. And then you do get a version where it is connected on a bendy wire. So you could do some cool, you know, rope or wire posing with him. And then you get one that has a little hook on there, so you can hook them onto something and do some figure photography that way. I always like when companies give us these accessories for figures. It adds to the playability. And then finally for his hands, he comes with 2 holding hands. You could honestly use these to hold anything else if it's small enough. He comes with 2 like clawing hands, and these are really nicely sculpted and painted. You can see the wrinkles there on the palm. Really nice, and then that shading on the knuckles. Then he has a pair of flat hands. These are cool. They're like karate chop hands. You can use them for that too. Then he's got a pair of relaxed hands. Very nice. And finally, he comes with a pair of like splayed out action hands. So these are going to be good for, you know, all kinds of action poses. And then he comes with the Mafex stand, which I don't want to detach from this because I'm not going to take it out. But if you've never seen a Mafex stand before, comes in a couple pieces, has a couple different clips that you can make use of, and then comes with the actual stand piece and the different, you know, the pole to actually put them up there. So they give you a lot of options, so you could just, you know, play with them right out of the box, which is pretty cool. And of course it comes with these certificate of a genuine product. Probably, I mean, it always comes with this, but you know, it's more prevalent now because there are knockoffs such as CT Toys. But yeah, no, the accessories are great. I don't know what else I would have had them come with besides the like the Daredevil vision like radar thing that goes behind his head in the comics. I think Mafex gave us, not Mafex, sorry, Mezco, all these M name companies. I think Mezco gave us one of those, so I thought that'd be pretty cool if we got that for Daredevil. But yeah, the accessories are great. Let me know if you think he should come with anything else, and let's move on to the size comparisons. And starting off our size comparisons, here he is standing next to a Medicom Mafex Spider-Man with the classic red and blue suit, has a custom head sculpt, and then here he is standing next to the brown suit Wolverine. This is the CT Toys version, so I believe he is shorter than the official brown suit Wolverine. Still waiting for Mafex to reissue the actual brown suit Wolverine because I do want the official one, but this one will do for now. As you can see, I think they line up pretty nicely. I would assume that Daredevil is taller than Spider-Man. And I do like that they're not just reusing body builds. Like you can see the musculature is different. Daredevil is a larger guy. He's taller. And all the proportions kind of showcase that. Even between Wolverine. I know this is CT Toy, so I don't know if they did any modifications to the body sculpt at all. But if they're just pulling right from Mafex, then you can see the differences too in the sculpt and musculature there. Wolverine's suit is more skin tight. This one is skin tight, but it doesn't have, you know, like the markings in the chest or anything to show off those muscles. So yeah, I think these all look good together, and it'll flesh out your Marvel Mafex shelf. And then here he is standing next to a CT Toys Miles Morales Spider-Man with the custom head sculpt on it, and then a SH Figuarts Full Power Super Saiyan Son Goku. Again, I think these match up well, especially on the Marvel side. The Miles Morales is shorter, he's a kid. So it makes sense that he's, you know, this compared to Daredevil. Again, the proportions on Miles in terms of musculature, etc., I think look really good with that differentiation with how big Daredevil is. And then for SH Figuarts, again, these are smaller import figures. They're closer to true 1/12 scale. But I still think this will look pretty cool if you can manage to, you know, fudge the perspective with photos. And then if you want to do something Marvel vs. Capcom related, here he is standing next to a Jada Toys Chun-Li and then a Jada Toys DJ. I still think that these guys look great together. Definitely can pose them up. He literally is standing as tall as DJ, or maybe like a hair taller. But yeah, this looks great. And finally, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Iron Man and a Marvel Legends animated series Spider-Man. Again, he'd be a perfect stand-in for your Marvel Legends Daredevil if you didn't like that offering that they had. I think it was like an ultimate level Daredevil or something like that. It just came with a bunch of accessories. Super articulated, had the toe articulation and everything. I don't own that one, but I'm glad I own this Mafex one. So yeah, if you have that one, or if you have both of them, let me know which one you decided to keep on your shelf. And for my final thoughts, I mean, I love this figure. Originally I wasn't planning on getting him, but now that I've got him in hand and I'm able to play around with him, I mean, I think this is one of Mafex's finest besides Nightwing. Like, this is really nice, down to the sculpt, the paint. Like, they did a lot with, you know, a very minimal design. They did good in blending, you know, the different colors of red and making them stand out to look different. Great batch of accessories, great movement. I think if you're a super Daredevil fan, I don't think this is one you want to, you know, miss out on or wait for like a sale, because he's definitely going to sell out. Definitely get this from like an imports shop in order to save a little bit of money. I got mine from Hobby Genki. But yeah, this guy is awesome. I think he's probably the definitive Daredevil figure for a lot of people's collections, which is why I want Mafex to make a comic accurate Black Panther. Like, that would complete, you know, my search for the perfect Black Panther figure. The movie design is cool, but I really want the comic one. Maybe they can give him a cloth cape to go along with it. But yeah, let me know if you guys have this Daredevil. Let me know what you think about him. Is he worth the money, or would you rather stick with the Marvel Legends? Again, definitely think this guy is worth it. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Take care and have a great rest of your day.